Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick with What I'm Watching, and I'm here with another episode. This time it's for the film Scumbags, which was released by the Sleazebox. And if you're a member of the independent horror community, then you have to be familiar with these guys out of Florida. They've put out some great films in the past. One of my favorites of theirs was American Holocaust, but I've seen almost everything they put out. There's like a few titles that I haven't seen, and they've released some of the old shot on video stuff, but you know, they're pretty much do original projects. So thesleazebox.com, go check them out immediately before we even get into the review. I'll have all their information down below, all their links down below. But John Miller, the writer and director of Scumbags, contacted me, and he asked if I'd like to review his film. And you know, that was pretty cool, because usually I just go out and buy my movies and then do my reviews. I don't ever ask for screeners or anything like that. So when a director reaches out and asks me to look at his film, you know, I take that as a huge compliment, and thank you, John. So anyway, let's get to it. Scumbags is now my favorite release from the Sleazebox. It's kind of a mashup of several different things. It's a crime thriller, that's what it's billed as, but it's also kind of a street movie, a drug movie, a revenge movie, a music video, and you know, it's all just kind of mixed together, and even a little bit of a porno. I mean, it really was. And what I like about this movie is the guy who wrote and directed it, John Miller. He kind of reminds me of like people I hang out with a little bit. Like, I'm more of a punk rocker dude, but I know a lot of like thug type people, or people that are into the hip hop community, and you know, that kind of might be on the criminal side of things. I'm not saying John's a criminal or anything like that, but I'm saying the thing I liked about this movie is it had a feeling of authenticity, because some of the people in the movie, I could see them in real life being drug dealers or pimps, or, you know, something like that. So it almost feels like some of the cast in this film might have been people that, you know, their real occupation is working, you know, in the street trades, which, you know, I have no hate towards that whatsoever. But let's do a little recap on the story. Basically, follows a young girl played by Crystal Pixie Adams, and she is kind of the epitome of a dumb, ditzy, blonde chick, and she's got a job flipping burgers and lives at home with her mom and dad and has no real direction in her life. Well, Herb Kowalski, who you guys know of Cult Movie Mania, he plays her boss in the movie, and he's hilarious. And anyway, he, you know, pulls her in the office and is like, "Look, you're sucking all these dudes' dicks. You gotta give me some." And she even agreed to it. And then he blew a gasket because she wouldn't meet his requirements. And she gets fired. So while she's fired, you know, she's out in the alley crying, whatever. And Joe Makowski plays a character called Rio. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. Joe Makowski. And Joe Makowski, man, I've seen him in some of the other Sleazebox films. Dude's got a real creepy vibe to him, you know, so no offense, Joe, but you play your parts well. And he acted his ass off, you know. I really thought he plays kind of a crazy motherfucker. He picks up old Crystal, and he's like, "Hey girl, let's go out, you know, get some drinks." She's like, "Yeah, whatever." Well, for her troubles, she ends up tied up, abused, beaten, drugged, and then basically Rio, Joe's character, prostitutes her out, and basically just, you know, uses her to make money to supply his own drug habits. And it shows, the movie kind of delves into this hotel culture where people are buying and selling drugs and living in these hotel rooms, and I've seen this stuff firsthand, and they did a pretty good depiction of it. This movie has it just has real street credibility to it, and that's what I really liked. It had a lot of realism to it. The acting, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I feel like some of the people in this movie might be actually people that work in the streets. So, you know, if that's what they really do, you can't expect them to just turn it on and become an actor. You know, they did the best they did. So this is like one of those movies it's bad, but you love it. But and I mean that with all respect, because I enjoyed Scumbags. It's my favorite Sleazebox release yet. You know, it kept me going. You know, like well, basically. So back to the storyline. I'm sorry, my ADD. Crystal is, being abused by this guy. Well, she meets the guy next door, played by the writer-director, John Miller. His character 6ix9ine, and basically, he's like, hey, come work for me. He's a drug dealer and a pimp, and something happens, and Rio and his dudes foil a bank robbery and end up shooting each other. So she runs away, and she's out living on the streets, and finally she meets back up with John's character, and they get together, and he kind of takes the bitch under his wing, and and one of the lines of the movie, like, get in there and clean that stinking pussy, because you ain't gonna make no money that way. I mean, he's tough but fair, tough love, and I really enjoyed John's character, man. And I think John would be a fun dude to probably hang out with and party with in real life. But anyway, back to the movie. So they go out and they're doing their thing and making their money over, like, if you're familiar with like Backpage.com or even Craigslist, prostitutes, girls get on there and take pictures and they put their ads online. That's the new way prostitution's done. Well, the movie focuses on the street culture again, which I really enjoyed. So they're going there, they're making their money. Well, then people are jealous in the game, and this guy at this party, that's where the movie turns a little bit music video, because like there's a soundtrack to this whole thing, a rap soundtrack, which some of it's really good, but you could really tell that they're really trying to push the music. So I would maybe slow down on that a little bit as far as the movie goes, but that scene was a little too long. It's like 2 songs long, but I mean, there's lots of booty shaking and all that. So I mean, I guess I can't complain too much. But this movie, the realism is like, when the girls in the movie get down, there's a lesbian scene. They get down. They're eating pussy and fingering each other and kissing, and I mean, like, it's pretty much porno, right? Well, on this part. So John Miller did a really good job mixing all these elements and bringing a little bit of reality into fiction and putting out a badass project called Scumbags. So I'd like to see more movies like this, because I'm a big fan of mixing the reality with the fiction. I think he did a really good job on that. Big shout out to Bob Glazer. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He was an American Holocaust, and I've seen him in a couple of the movies that Sleazebox has put out. He did a really good job. Herb Kowalski, which is Shelby McIntyre, I believe. Good job. Joe Makowski, great job. Crystal, Pixie Adams, John Miller. I mean, everybody did a good job, and there were some really attractive, good-looking women in there. So you've got some gore, you've got some decent music, you've got some hot chicks. Sleazebox is getting better and better with each release. And I feel like right now, as far as all the movies I've seen, and I've seen most of them, this is my favorite one. So is it a great movie? No. But is it a fun watch? Yes. So I would recommend going to the Sleazebox, and if you're going to check out something, check out Scumbags first, then go to American Holocaust, and then check out their other releases. And this is a good example of independent filmmakers doing their thing, and these guys are out of Florida. And thank you, John, for letting me watch Scumbags and share my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. This is Nick with What I'm Watching, and keep it sick, and I'll catch you next time. Lates.